So here we are back in Mechanik Deluxe from 1997, supposedly. So we're passing a freight train there over on the right, which I think is modeled really nicely. That's exactly what a Polish freight train looks like. At least circa 1990s. I mean, nowadays you'd have a huge graffiti problem on it, probably. But the locomotive looks right. The freight cars are pretty good for the graphics of this simulator. So I'm now going to drive for another 10 minutes or so, the second part of this playthrough, and it will be slow. Speed limit on this line is 40 kilometers per hour, so it's slow but obviously easy, which is a good thing for me because I'm very unfamiliar with this simulator. I think this is literally the first time I've had a good playthrough of it, actually. Now, for some reason, my cab signal up there on the upper left is telling me 60 kilometers per hour speed limit. But what makes no sense about that is that I have speed signs at trackside telling me 40. So I think that might indicate the signal speed limit because I'm on a block, or in a block, which is signaled approach limited. That would make sense. 60 kilometers per hour would be a perfectly logical standard for that in Europe. I have an approach, so the next signal in theory will be a stop or a danger. But as you'll see, the signal flips over by the time I get to it, so I don't have to think about that. Here's the signal. And it's green. So I actually am not going to be going very fast. Now I've got a signal indication of 110, which really doesn't make any sense because, as I said, the signage doesn't indicate that. Not as far as I know, anyway. Maybe that's the answer, is you try not to be 100% realistic with this and you can go a lot faster. Maybe I should have paid more attention to that, but I was going by the signage. I was going for full realism. And actually I'm glad I did because I would have had trouble controlling the train otherwise. This is just not a simulator that I know well. First we had approach limited, and now it looks like we have green. Not a very bright green, the look of it, but it's green. There'd be another reason why I'd be hesitant to drive fast in this. You want to be able to see the signals from way back. Especially because the cab signaling system by appearances here is rather limited, actually. Basically, they give you an alerter, and that's about it. It's not really enough. There's the alerter again. It looks as if it has different choices of alerts, like those two yellow bulbs. There's the 40 kilometers per hour again. Those yellow bulbs will tell you, hey, wake up, but the SIG, as far as I know, indicates signal, telling you, wake up, there's a signal up ahead, which is more restrictive than a clear. And it looks as if it can do a few others too, but I haven't seen them yet. I don't know is what that Z sign means. No idea what that means. I don't know Polish signage. Not very well, anyway. And I don't know what that R means either. Or what that S means. It might be indicating this crossing up here, actually. That would make sense. Although there are quite a lot of add-ons for this simulator, it's not clear how you would access them inside the simulator. I think you'd just have to change the files and load, because there's no like options menu at all. It's just the start. That's your only choice. I mean, they have the options menu, yes, but the options menu doesn't open, so it might as well not be there. And I don't think that options menu means, you know, which route. I think the options menu means how do you want the volume and stuff like that. But I don't know, because I can't get it open. In general, my sense was that this was thrown together over a number of years by that driving school or what have you, the group of guys. And it never really made it to being a full-fledged, finished simulator in the way that even BVE became, actually. But this did have some serious followers back in the day, and there are still people developing for it, actually. Developing British trains and so on. It's especially the British, which makes sense, because that's where you'd find the most rail fans in the world, probably. British developers have been really essential to developing train simulators over the years. There's really nobody else who's produced as much material. It's easier to get a good simulator of a British train than maybe any other nationality of train. And that's, of course, one of the things that makes Mechanik a little bit interesting, is Mechanik is Polish. It's maybe the only notable train simulator from Poland. The only one that has a wide following, anyway. Certainly the only one in Polish language that I'm aware of. Continuing to crawl along here, either because I'm driving realistically or because I'm not driving realistically. Don't even know that. And I'm going to have to go to the third part at this point, so I will see you in the third playthrough, or the third part of this playthrough.